it was loud. The environment was great. It felt like it was vibrating in that first quarter. I thought the guys did a good job at communicating, verbally and physically, with all our different hands and everything. Because you can't hear. You can be 2-3 foot away and you're not going to hear somebody. That's what we talked about, unscouted looks or just seeing things. And it's the work during the week that, you're knowing the call before you see it, and you're trying to react to everything going on.
How much did you adjust on the sidelines between series? Because I imagine you go into a game like that, maybe not expecting that heavy of a blitz. I don't know, maybe you did. But how much adjustment was done between series?
I think it just reaffirmed that, this is what we're getting. We got to be prepared. And, I think, we did a good job adjusting, but we were pretty prepared for that going into it. Spags brings a lot of blitzes. Didn't know he was going to bring that many, but I thought we did a good job of being on top of it. And, that's the thing, when you bring so much pressure, it's easy to be not take care of the ball or turn the ball over. I mean, that's kind of what pressure brings, and it creates those one-on-one opportunities. And we did a good job with that.
For Jalen to get that ball off and all that blitz on the run pass to Devontae, what does that take for watching Jalen do something?
It takes everybody being on the same page, and he's got to know, the protection, where we're going, where the back's going, and if they bring one too many, where's that one that's not accounted for coming from? He knew exactly where it was. He knew if they bring out blitz zero, somebody's gonna be one-on-one, and throw the ball up to Devontae Smith. That's a pretty good option.
Going back there, because it seems like you said, you got to be thinking on the fly, like. Doing this what? Second, so what does that say about Jalen's ability?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of football. And, when you're in a high-level game like that against a really good opponent, you got to be able to go on the fly. When you go on the road, it's just increased times 10, especially in an environment like that. And, that's how we feel when we're at home and teams have to come in here and try to operate at the link.
And Grant, can you
conversation people saying that you guys are lining up both sides for the QB sneak play? Has there been any kind of emphasis internally about that this week, or have you heard anything from the league? Anything like that?
I haven't heard anything from the league. I don't know. I've heard a million different takes on this. So I mean, it's people saying I'm lining up off sides. I'm holding the ball. I don't know. I can be on the ball. That doesn't make any sense to me. But people act like I'm offside.
Yeah, how would that even work?
Yeah.
So what are the coaches saying in response to that? If any, is it just do what we do? Or?
I mean, at the end of the day, we're not trying to worry about what other teams or people are saying. We're trying to worry about what we're doing in here. If the league wants to come down and say something, make an emphasis, with the rules, like we're going to take that into account. But, it's the same thing going forward, playing Eagle football.
Do you think the opponents are lining up in the neutral zone? I mean, I've heard Nick say.
Yeah, I mean, but that's nothing new. People line up in the neutral zone all last year. I mean, it's just, I get it. I mean, it is frustrating knowing, they're in the neutral zone, and if somebody's in the neutral zone and an offensive player goes off, like it's on the defense. It's neutral zone infraction. So
you talk a little about Grant Calcaterra coming up with that ball in the first play of the game. The play goes bad, and that had to be a great amount of focus that early in the game, and how much an impact that really did if that had gone the other way. It could have changed the game so much.
Oh, for sure. And Grant had a huge play there, and Grant's not new to that. He did the same thing last year when Dallas had a fumble going down the sideline, and that kept the game in our favor. So it's just playing like that, practicing like that. He's got a knack for getting on top of the ball when it pops out and just being around it.
The lack of explosive plays on offense